Hello, my name is Diane Abels, and I am the Academic Coordinator of Clinical Education and a professor in the Physical Therapist Assistant Program here at Blackhawk College. I wanted to introduce myself as well as tell you a little bit about the career as a PTA that you might be interested in, and tell you about our program here at Blackhawk. So first of all, what is a physical therapist assistant? A physical therapist assistant, or PTA as we like to say, is a healthcare provider who works under the direction and supervision of a physical therapist. A physical therapist assistant is very autonomous. They work with people of all age ranges, and those are patients who have health, medical, or disease-related illnesses, or illnesses or problems caused by accidents, where they have lost their ability to function in everyday life. So physical therapist assistants work in many different types of healthcare settings. They can work in hospitals, they can work in skilled nursing facilities, they can work in outpatient clinics, and they can even do specialties like work in sports rehab or even in the school system working with young kids. Another type of area where physical therapist assistants might work is in an industrial or an employment setting, working with patients who have job-related accidents. Typical patients that you might see working as a physical therapist assistant would be patients that have spinal pain, joint pain, patients that have had muscle strains or ligament injuries, patients that have undergone amputation or have had fractures or need joint replacements due to arthritis or fractures. We also work a lot with patients who have neurological disorders, so patients with spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, cerebral palsy, and things like that. There really is no limit to the types of patients that you can work with as a PTA. So as a physical therapist assistant, there are many traits that really benefit you if you work in the healthcare field. One is that you definitely have to be very people-oriented. As a PTA, you're working all day long with patients. You have to be a very motivating person to help people through what can sometimes be the most traumatic thing that they've ever gone through in their life. You have to have that strong desire to help other people. You have to be very, very comfortable with physical touch. Our students here spend hours and hours in lab activities because in the classroom we're teaching you how you will actually work with real patients out there in the healthcare field. You have to have a lot of physical stamina, and you have to be able to think on your feet because you might be working with patients with a lot of medical issues as well. So for our admissions process here at Blackhawk College, we begin taking applications September 1st every fall. If you get your application in by October 31st, you're guaranteed to have an interview with us. We begin the interviews typically in January or February, and we select up to 24 students for each incoming class. As far as what we're looking for someone who is applying to the program, we score based on your interview, your general interest in healthcare, that we feel that you are someone who's going to be great in the healthcare field. You'll also have to submit letters of recommendation, and we look at what your college success has been so far in the general education classes that you've completed. The program itself is 72 credit hours. With that, it's about 24 months total, so you would start in August and you would finish 5 semesters later, 2 calendar years later in August as well. Most of the time, our typical admission student has most classes of general education, if not all of them, already completed by the time they start the program. We also, within the program, besides classroom work and laboratory work here at Blackhawk, you'll do 4 clinical rotations, and that's a total of 16 weeks of clinical work where you'll go out to a hospital setting, skilled nursing facility, outpatient settings, and sometimes specialty area settings in order to complete your education and graduate as a very well-rounded physical therapist assistant. We want our students to be able to get out there as a graduate and be able to work in any capacity from newborn all the way up to someone over 100 years old. So the clinical rotations are definitely a very integral part of what we do here at Blackhawk as well. Thank you for your interest in the Physical Therapist Assistant Program. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact either myself, Diane Abels, or the Program Director, Larry Gilland. Thank you.